Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I'm going to do something different today. So the backstory is that the other morning I was going into my Hobonichi Hone that I use for memory keeping and journaling, and I went into the weekly section and I thought, I am writing the same thing over and over again. And I haven't been adding stickers the last couple weeks. And then I made a mistake. And I'll talk about why that's a mistake in a moment. But that mistake, because I didn't have whiteout, I was downstairs in my kitchen. My whiteout is upstairs in our office. The idea came to me that it may be interesting to look at kind of filling this out in a video and adding stickers. And so that's what I'm going to try to do. And it is Friday evening after, what felt like one of the longest weeks ever. So my husband and I are enjoying a Sauvignon Blanc from a company called Whitehaven that we get in our Wine of the Month Club for February. And it has all the citrusy vibes. It tastes like grapefruit. It's so refreshing. So that's what I will be sipping on today. Yum. All right. So I'm going to get rid of this right here. There we go. And I have my box of stickers right here. So that's going to be off to the side. And also off to the side is my planner, which I will be using as a reference to memory keep. The two pens that I will be primarily using are a TWSBI Diamond 580, which is inked up with Sailor Ink Studio number 252. And this is a carryover from last month. And it has the tiniest bit of ink left. So I actually might not have enough to even make it through. Ooh, that's okay. So this is Zodiac Pen Company in red abalone, and it is inked up with Tono and Lims Trust You. Now what I learned is I can get this very close to match up here by when I go to close it, I put this that matches up with this on the bottom, and then I twist and it gets it very close up every single time. Now what I will apologize for in advance is I didn't plan out my stickers. So you will see me flipping through. But I feel like that's okay. I think that's part of the process, right? So hopefully you don't mind too much. That's a grocery shopping line. Let me just make sure I don't have any others that I might want to grab. There's always these, the freebies, that I can never seem to find the opportunity to use. Okay, so as I do this, I'll be talking through my planning. So I'm excited about that. So Monday ended up being unexpected. And the reason why is as I was driving in to drop my son off at school, he blew his nose and I happened to look over, and apologies if this is gross. Close your ears, earmuffs, if you don't want to hear it. But what came out on the tissue was nice and colored and thick. I have acute sinusitis, and so all growing up I had a lot of sinus infections, and got to a point where they were happening consecutively despite antibiotics. And then it was the process of changing the type of antibiotics, increasing the number that I had to take, the duration that I had to take it. That's a little bit more clear. And then I got a referral to an ear, nose, throat specialist who trialed out some different medications for some different lengths of time until finally they referred me for, nope, not that one, a CAT scan. And the CAT scan confirmed that one of my sinus cavities is formed the opposite direction as a typical person's sinus cavity. So I am anatomically prone to sinus infections. The action plan for that was to do a surgery where they expanded the opening for all 4 of my sinus cavities. And I had that surgery when I was 18 or 19, one of the two. I was relatively young. So for me, seeing my son get a sinus infection, I certainly worry. Right when my son's pediatrician's office opened, called the pediatrician, got him an appointment for 9:30. So I'm going to go ahead and add this right here because my son went to the pediatrician, and he does in fact have a bacterial sinus infection. They did a COVID test, they did a strep test, both were negative. One of his tonsils was enlarged, and the nurse practitioner commented on it, but said at this point, it's nothing to worry about. It's just something to keep an eye on, and that it could just be due to the fact that he had been under the weather for so long. And we did find that he did have a very slight fever when we went, which of course then I felt like a bad mom. So he's been on antibiotics since Monday. He's starting to get all the draining, but now he's a little bit of a nervous wreck that he might need more antibiotic, or that by February vacation, which is coming up the week after next, he's not going to be healthy. And so we're working through those worries. He's a mini me. He worries about everything. We did go to Dunk's after, and he got a donut and a culotta. And then we came home and he relaxed. And when I went to pick up his prescription, I also got him lunch at McDonald's. I know, that's terrible. It's terrible. All right. Now, prior to that, while I was at work, I worked through, I spent some one-on-one time with a student, and I also worked through some emails. Now, then I did a work from home until 12 o'clock, and I did some more work from home 1 to 3 o'clock. And during this time, I did a job like. Did I pull that one out? I did not. But what I will write here is prescription pickup. So he was a little funny because put that right there. I had mentioned let's watch a movie this afternoon just because I wanted him to be nice and settled and rest and relax. And he ended up watching his own show. So I was able to sneak in this work session here. But then as I tucked him in at night, he said, oh, well, when I stay home tomorrow, we'll watch a movie together. Spoiler alert, he did not stay home tomorrow. This is going to be a long one. So sorry. All right. Now, let's see. Trying to think of, oh yeah, this was, I might jump around just a little bit as I get to stickers that would be a good fit. Again, this is my first time doing it this way, so we're just gonna see how it goes. So I believe it was last night. So we're gonna put this at the 5 o'clock time. And I crash. So Thursday got a little rough, which I'll get to in just a bit. Okay. A little all over the place. Guess I should maybe just pull out the ones that I think will be a good fit. Oh, I might be able to use that one. And that one. I don't think I had, no, I did not have therapy this week. That was last week. That was this weekend. Maybe. Maybe. I made a purchase today. I might talk about it. Let's see if I can. Did some good singing in the car. I don't know if that might be applicable. Oh, I feel that. Okay. Grab out those, and that should help us out just a little bit. Okay. So right now I'm looking for the right computer one. We'll do this onesie. And we'll add in, it's seeming to be a little pink, so we'll stick with the pink piece. And right here, so for the Pay It Forward charity that I'm part of, I put together Super Bowl squares. So for that, I put together the 100 square grid. I added an image to a Google form. I used a choice eliminator feature so that people could sign up, pick their square. That eliminates that from the choices for the next person who fills out the form, and generated an email that went to our distribution list. What I will do is I will throw in the description of this video a link to the football squares if anyone is interested in purchasing them. My friends who are the founders of Pay It Forward had a kind of personal thing happen, and so they reached out to me and said, can you take point on this? But they asked me that on Sunday, so it's a very short window, and so many people have already bought squares if they're doing Super Bowl squares. So I'm feeling a lot of anxiety that we're not going to be able to fill them. We've got about 43 squares to fill. So I'm really nervous. So if you're interested, please feel free to join. It's a $125 payout for first quarter and third quarter, $250 for half, and $500 for final score. And then each of our 2 recipients who are currently battling cancer that have no fundraising efforts in place will each get $500 from these football squares, which will be added to the 1,000, almost 2,000-ish that they will each be getting from some of our other fundraising efforts. So then we did dinner. And didn't really do a ton that evening. Kind of kept it low key. Did a snug with my son. And I always say snug, that's what we called it when he was much younger. But it started when I was working a job that was a 24-hour-a-day on-call position, and my schedule was really variable. And so this was a time that became pretty sacred to us. I'm just going to put this because it was my mom time. Yeah, so this time became sacred to us for the nights that I was home. And it just has continued, even though now I work a much more stable job. So, and then I did my typical 9:30. No, I didn't. Glad I just looked over to reference that. I did not. I had a ladies' night. So after tucking my son in, I went to my neighbor's house, and we, for the first time in 2024, we got together and had a glass of wine and caught up and laughed, and it was just really lovely. All right, there's that. Okay, so now on to Tuesday. So Tuesday I was able to do my typical morning routine. Ish. I did not do a morning workout. So I allowed myself to sleep in an extra 30 minutes. I did shower, did my morning budgeting, and then got myself planned and set up for the day. And then I started my work day, which I get there between 7:30 and 7:45. And I was there until just a little bit after 3. And this is where I wanted to put in this little drama llama. So I ended up spending most of my afternoon with a student. Right? Yes. Spent most of my afternoon with a student who was mad about a decision that, this day the student was mad about an interaction with another student. So I ended up spending the rest of the day in order to get them in a good place. I did an observation. So this was student 1-1, and that was through to 2:30. And then there was a student behavior, which I put BX for behavior. So there's a student behavior issue that kept me at work a little bit later. And some of the things that I was able to do on this day is I did a student check-in. I did some emails. After this observation, I worked on some graphing, and I worked on something called a think sheet, which is another term for brain mapping, which is a worksheet that helps guide a student through matching their thoughts, their feelings, and their behaviors with what's happening around them. That can be used as a tool to help them to see some patterns and help us to see some patterns and generate plans for resolution and plans for the future. So I have a new student that might benefit from that. We're working on a format for it. Now on Tuesday night, and hopefully this is not too boring. Yes. All right, so at around 4:30, I did a run on the treadmill. And I don't think I brought that one out. So let me just scroll through this. I did some journaling in the evening, so I just want to find a planner. Someday I might organize these. But honestly, I'm hoping to use them and decrease the number of sheets that I have. There we go. Yeah, this one. So I did dinner, and then journal, and then snug. And this night I did go to bed at 9:30, and this night I went to bed, it's really at 10:30, but that's all right. Okay, so on Wednesday, I knew that I was going to be doing an afternoon workout, which I'll talk about in a moment. So I actually woke up and I had a really leisurely morning, and right away sat down and had my coffee, worked on my budget, and did some planning. And then I had work, and that went at a typical day. So I worked until 2:45. I knew I didn't want to stay too late because of my afternoon plans. And on this day, I had a new colleague that started, which was really great. So I got to meet them, which I really loved. Let me just add this early bird right here, because I think that's fitting. And was that, can I remember, that was in person. Yes, okay. All right, so I did some work in my office. So I had talked with my peer, the other board certified behavior analyst in my district, about sharing a workspace when they're at the building that my workspace is in. So I finally went and rearranged my workspace in order to set up a table for them, and had a student help me with getting a chair, and it was just really, it was a nice moment. I always enjoy, if possible, getting students to help out with those types of things, because it gives them a sense of ownership. And then if they're having a moment, they are less likely to destroy the things that they helped put together. Let's see, I'm just over here. So my morning was a little chaotic, or after this part of the morning, because I did do a student one-to-one as part of that office setup. I did a consult, and then I began to run around because I had to go to lower elementary, upper elementary, back to middle school. I met with the new school adjustment counselor for a while. And then I had this IEP meeting. And then I ended my day with, again, the school adjustment counselor. After that, my son and I swung by McDonald's. That morning, he had started his day off with, I have nothing to look forward to. He did not want to go to art class, and he has art class on Wednesdays. So I went ahead and said, what if I said we could go to McDonald's after school? Is that something that you can look forward to? And he was really all about that. So we did. Then I got a little bit of relaxing in, and then I did a commute. And my colleague and I are starting a new tradition. And so that new tradition is that once a month, the gym that she goes to allows her to bring a guest. And so she suggested that I be her guest once a month, and then we will go out to dinner after. And so that's what we did. And I was so excited. Oh, I'm going to use this little guy. So we did a bar class. And then we went to a Mexican restaurant. And we were there for a bit. And then I drove home. Did a quick snug. And then he got tucked in and I got bedtime at the time that I usually do. Now, Thursday morning, I also had a leisurely morning. Started off with a budget, with my coffee, took a shower, did some journaling because I didn't do any on Wednesday. And then I had a very long, I had a long work day. Some people might look at this and say that's nothing, but I try very hard to have a good work-life balance. And so being at work until 4:30 when I start at 7:30, that is not a good balance. So let's see, I wish I had a better icon for this. Now I had this kind of roller coaster day on Thursday. I did some really cool things at work with some kids. I got to spend some good time in a kindergarten classroom. I can use this one. Let's put it right here. So I did a kindergarten AIM lesson, and AIM stands for Accept, Identify, Move, which is part of, it's a student-aged curriculum for social emotional learning using acceptance and commitment therapy. So I had a lower elementary consult, and this is where it was determined that I was going to go ahead and do this group, and I can do it every Thursday at that same time. So then I quickly had to prep, and then I did another consult, and that went right up until I did that group. And then I went over to the middle school, and there was a little bit more drama. Let's see if I can find my drama llama really quick. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Oh, nope, here it is. I'm just going to put this guy right over here. So there was, on this day, one student wanted to sit in the exact chair that another student was sitting in, and they were very upset and talking about it, which made the student that was sitting feel uncomfortable. So I invited the student that was sitting to come for a walk with me to remove them from the uncomfortable situation while they continue to work through what was going on with this other nugget. And then once I got the student nice and settled, we went back to the classroom, and the moment they walked into the classroom, that other student immediately made a comment. So then they turned around and walked back out, and I had to start over again. So that was a good chunk of my afternoon. And then I went into an IEP meeting, and then I did a debrief meeting with my colleagues about the afternoon and some plans for the future. So I got home and I crashed. And I crashed out of frustration because I did not feel that I got anything done that I needed to get done on Thursday. And I felt that I just added a whole bunch more onto my schedule, which made me really overwhelmed and frustrated. And then I wasn't even able to get on the treadmill until 6:30, which I didn't love. But once I started my snug with my son, things started to turn. I had an interaction with someone in my life that they were highly supportive when they asked how my day was, and my response was, meh. I got nothing done that I wanted to, and a whole bunch was added onto my to-do list, and I'm just in a bad mood. The response I got was just so utterly supportive and kind, and it just really helped to kind of snap me out of it. So I really appreciated that. And then again, I went to bed at my typical time. So then I woke up this morning and I did a nice rowing workout. Obviously my shower, and then I did some budget and planning. And my son and I, we went to get our, I'm just realizing I want a different coffee mug. And I want this one. So we got our morning coffee. And I don't recall if I said this in my last week's video, but the local coffee shop that we go to has February specials. And one of their February specials is a strawberry matcha. And matcha is a very strong taste, and I think it's a very polarizing drink. I think it's something you either love or you don't. I love it when it's prepared well. And for whatever reason, the addition of the strawberry, freeze-dried strawberry and strawberry puree is just everything. I love it so much. So I really enjoyed that. Let's see. So I had a student check-in. Oh, I also had a really... When was that? Oh, yes. I did an observation right here. And the observation didn't go well. But anywho, I did a student check-in. I went to crisis team. And then I worked on a clinical observation report. I had a middle school consult at 10:35. I had another one at 12. I did some more clinical observation work. And then I taught a middle school AIM group, which went so good, so good. I had a number of students that were really engaged. I probably had about, a quarter of students were really engaged. A quarter wanted nothing to do with it, but they were there and they were respectful, so I will take it. And then a half were somewhat engaged. And that's just everything for me. I was so happy. I was so thrilled. I was thankful to them. And yeah, I have all positive things to say about that. So then I worked on some emails, and then I did some prep because Monday I will be teaching the next AIM group. I'm going to be teaching that AIM group every Friday, except next Friday I have a professional development out of building. So instead of Friday, I'll be doing it Monday. Monday is a half day for students, and it's right after the weekend. So I wanted to do the prep for it before leaving for the weekend. And the lesson involves instruments, and it's getting students to focus on their response to sounds. And so I went to the music room, met the new music teacher who recently started, and they were very generous to let me borrow some instruments. I was going to put in a YouTube sticker here because I'm doing YouTube filming, and I have a sticker that was gifted to me by a viewer, and I can't find it, which is driving me nuts. I have some of the other stickers that they gifted me right here. And the really nice paper. Yeah, but I don't know where that little sheet of YouTube stickers are. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like I'm going to be finding it right now. Oops. Okay. Well, I do think it's fair to add this because it is the weekend. Yahoo! And I did some pay it forward work. and it is currently 5:56. So YouTube filming, and it is 45 minutes long so far. And so I will stop there. I have chicken wings in the oven that I just want to flip really quick and let it cook on the other side for about 15 minutes. I have this mess that I'd like to clean up. And I will be recording some more videos this weekend to do my planner setup for the next week. So yeah, let me know how you like this. Is this something that you would like for me to do? I could record it daily and then put all the videos together. I don't love editing, but I can-ish, kind of. But yeah, give me your feedback. Let me know what your thoughts. And I will see or talk with you soon. All right, bye.